Hello, this is a demonstration of Redthorn's new Oneview business intelligence software. The business intelligence software has a number of areas to it. I'm going to start with the dashboarding area. In the dashboards we have quotation and sales dashboard, planning and engineering, people, stock, purchasing, quality and delivery and invoicing. So we have dashboard information for each of the main areas of the system. And I've opened up the quotation dashboard here and you can see I've got key data for each area of the business. For example, value of quotes issued month to date, day to date, value of quotes won. In addition to that, I've got some graphical information of quotes won pending and sales won and pending for this area of the business. I can review these graphs in different formats and I can also export them to PDF format. If I now go to the planning and engineering dashboard, I can look at the data relevant to planning and engineering. So here I've got machine center information, live job information, overdue job information. And in addition to the dashboard numbers, I've got some completed job efficiencies, machine center costs, and also some machine loading graphs. On the people dashboard, I've got information on the clocked stuff, so you can see employees not clocked in, efficiency of employees, lost time information, and also top 10 and bottom 10 efficient members of staff month to date. Onto the stock dashboard, I can see values of material stock, values of finished goods stock, slow moving stock, stock out of its class or shelf life date, a number of items that are in bonded stores. Again, I've got some graphical information, highest value parts, etc. Onto the purchase dashboard, and here's where I have my purchasing information. Overdue POs, live POs, materials brought month to date, on time in full, delivery metrics from suppliers and subcontract suppliers, and also the number of jobs out at subcontract. Again, some graphical information that can be used, PO trend values on PO purchasing and purchasing information, and trend values on delivery performance. Quality dashboard will give me the heads-up display on quality information, values of scrap, day and month, and also the values of rejects coming in either from the customer or internal rejects or supplier reject for incoming materials. And I've got some analysis again of reject centres on a monthly basis, and on these graphs you can change the way they look on all of the graphs. If I go into delivery and invoicing, this is where I see my delivery metrics, my invoice metrics, so month to date invoice values, and also the deliveries I've got due to the customers. These graphs can be hidden at a user level, so you can choose, and data can be hidden at a user level, so you can choose which of your users see which elements of this system. So now I'm going to explain some of the drill down functionality of the system. This is where you can drill into the actual data. So if I click on the total value pending quotes, I can actually see those quotes. I can group them by customer name, and then I can very quickly export them into Excel. So all of the data in our system can now be pushed out to Excel for use. This piece of data here is all our pending quotes by customer. If I close that, I can now have a look at some work to lists, and here I'm going to drill down on one of the actual graphs itself. So I have all this data I can drill through on, but I can also drill in this case down on the graph. So if I look at my TIG welding graphical piece of information, click on that, I'll actually get the work to list for the drill welding. There's 2 jobs due on it, and I've got all the relevant information for that job. So I can see that employee Cox is currently clocked onto that job on that TIG welding machine. I can click onto the job and actually see the information on that job. So I can see the first op is complete, and I can see that second operation, TIG welding, is currently being worked by the operator Cox. So you get that full piece of information about that job status on the job card. Now I'm going to look at my live job list. So here's a full list of all the jobs that are in production at the minute. I can do a quick keyword search. So I'm going to look for an individual job number, and now that I've found that job number, I can click through that again. And here I'm looking at the the status of that job. So you can see the first 3 operations have been complete, and it was on the 4th operation. Now we're into machine centres. And here's a full list of my machine centres. I can see whether they're up, down, running, out of service, and also the costs against them. I can drill into one of these and then see the status of what's going on at that machine centre. So I use TIC welding again, and here I have the work to list for that machine centre, 3 jobs. If I scroll along, I can see the Cox again is currently working on the first job on that machine centre. Employees, I can start drilling into efficiencies of employees. So here's my employee list, and I can see who's clocked into the building, who's clocked out. Anything blue I can drill in for more information. I've drilled in and I can see what job this user's actually currently clocked onto. So I can see what they're doing at this point in time. I can clock into their name or their clock number and see other information. In this case, their month-on-month efficiency. So I can look at my efficiency rating by employee by month. I can then drill in and actually look at the underlying data to see where they've made those losses and gains on efficiency. If I go back again, I can now look at the filters using purchase order analysis. So I'm going to demonstrate the filtering part of the software now. At the top, I've got some options for filtering, and on this data set, I'm looking now at live purchase orders. On the columns themselves, I can actually decide what I want to see, remove columns, and I can save those as user preferences if I wish. So next time I log in, I will see only those columns I wish to see. In this case, I'm now looking at live purchase orders, and I can actually start looking at overdue status. So if I do a filter on is greater than 0, it'll start to give me everything that's overdue. And I'm actually in this case going to look for 30 days overdue. So I've done a quick piece of filtering. I now have all my purchase orders that are overdue are overdue by less than 30 days. And I've done some more grouping, so they're grouped by supplier. Now I'm going to look at saving filters and use the cost margin report to do it. I'm going to load up my cost margin report, and here I have all my cost margin data for all jobs in the business. I can now filter, and I've got some 2 save filters, and the first one I choose is British Nuclear Fuels. This is now showing me cost margin information for British Nuclear Fuels for all jobs. Load up my user preferences, and I'm now looking at only the columns I want to see. And I can quickly see the jobs I'm making a profit on and the jobs I'm making a loss on through the colour scheming. If I want to change my filter, I can change it to BAE Systems, and now I'm just going to look at the jobs for BAE Systems. I can save that filter, name it, and use it again in the future. So in this case, I'm just going to give it a quick name and it'll be available for use. Once that's saved, I can now look at my list of filters I can upload, and here it's been added to the list. That brings to a conclusion our demonstration of the Oneview product. For further information, please contact us. All our details are on redthorn.com.